Hi students, hi everyone. My name is Silvia Falcón León. I am an English teacher in Preparatoria number 6. The main topic of today is first conditional. So, welcome to this class. We're going to start our class with those words, climate change and global warming. Most of the people believes or think that both words are the same, but actually they are not. Global warming refers only to the Earth's rise temperature, while climate change includes this warming and also all the effects. For example, glacier melt, floods, and droughts. Okay, so we're going to start with these questions. I want you to think about this question. What will happen to the world if it gets warmer and warmer? Can you imagine what will happen to our world? Well, if our planet gets warmer and warmer, some animals will disappear. If our world's temperature rises by 2 degrees, mountain glaciers and rivers start to disappear too. And the ecosystem will collapse, and a third of all life in Earth will face extinction. It's a scary picture, isn't it? Okay, guys, so we're going to analyze deeply those statements. The first one, if the planet gets warmer, some animals will disappear. If the world temperature rises, mountain glaciers will start to disappear. If we check carefully, we can realize that both statements are divided into 2 clauses. The if clause, that is the condition clause, and the main clause or the result clause. Okay? This is because we have cause and effect. So this is our main topic, first conditional. Okay, but what is first conditional? We're going to use it to talk about the consequence of a future action. It's a possibility in the future, okay? We're going to use, as I told you before, 2 clauses, the if clause and the main clause, okay? In the if clause or the conditional clause, in this case, the action hasn't happened yet, okay? And with the result clause or main clause, in this, the action will probably happen as a result of the conditional clause, okay? And something that is very important is that we have to use a comma to divide both statements, okay? And we're going to use with the conditional clause or if clause, we're going to use present tense. Okay, we're going to write it with simple present. And with the main clause, we're going to use future tense. And again, don't forget to use a comma between them. But with this first conditional, we can also switch places. What does it mean? That means that we can start with the main clause, following by the if clause, and the meaning doesn't change, okay? It's exactly the same. If the planet gets warmer, some animals will disappear. It's the same as some animals will disappear if the planet gets warmer, okay? It's the same. But in this case, if we start with the main clause, we don't need a comma to separate them, okay? And also, we can use going to instead of will. For example, if the world temperature rises, glaciers are going to disappear instead of will disappear, okay? And and we can use when instead of if. But if we use when, we have to take into account that when we use when, we are sure that this action will happen, okay? The action is going to happen. When the Earth's temperature rises, glaciers are going to disappear, okay? Now, let's practice a little bit. Please, at home, you have to copy those statements and you have to complete with the correct answer. Okay, so let's check those possible answers. If more and more people have cars, pollution will increase. People will have to change their lifestyles if we don't reduce global warming. Okay? Those are possible answers, but you can write different ones, okay? So let's continue. If you have questions or doubts, you can ask your teacher. So to sum up, you have to remember that we're going to use first conditional to talk about the consequence of a future actions, future possibilities. Following those statements, following those patterns. We're going to use our first part of the sentence, the if clause or the conditional clause, with simple present tense. And our main clause or the result clause with future, okay? And don't forget that we have to use a comma to divide them. The second option is starting by the main clause. In this case, remember, we have to use future, and in the if clause, we have to use simple present again. And remember, this is very important to remember, when we start with the main clause, we don't need a comma to separate the sentences, okay? Okay, so again, if you have questions or if you want to get deep to this topic, ask to your teacher, okay? And we're gonna finish this session with this phrase, okay? I want you to analyze for the following classes. If we don't act to prevent global warming now, a time will come when we will no longer be able to stop it. So think about it, guys. Think about it. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have questions, if you have doubts, you can send me an email. My email address is silvia_falcon@uaeh.edu.mx. Thank you very much.
Este video es presentado por el Sistema Ciencia Garza Educativa de la Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Hidalgo.